Foreign doctors are taking up more medical residency spots as Canadian medical students struggle to get in. And this is one of the reasons contributing to the doctor shortage in Canada, with the number of foreign visa trainees in medical residency up 70% since 2019. Okay, but what does this mean? First, you go to med school. Then you have to do a residency in Canada. So if you go to the med school in the US or in the Caribbean and you come back to Canada, you still need to do a residency here. But Canadian-born students who got their training abroad are struggling to get residency here as Canadian universities have to prioritize foreign students who are in Canadian universities to get their residency. And one of the arguments I've heard is, well, why don't you just go to medical school in Canada? Do you know how hard it is to get into med school in Canada? It's not because somebody's not smart enough. It's because medical schools in Canada are super competitive globally. People come from all over the world to come to Canadian medical schools. So we might say, hey, why don't we just stop international students from coming to Canadian medical schools until we get over our doctor shortage? Well, the problem is that our medical schools in Canada get a ton of money from international students, and that money is used to subsidize the cost for other Canadians and for the university as a whole. So if we were to stop allowing international medical students into Canadian universities, there would be a massive budget problem at these universities. And roughly 1,000 Canadian doctors who went to school abroad are turned away every year because they can't get residency spots in Canada. In the current academic year, there are 1,810 Canadian international medical graduates, but only 370 of them have actually been placed with residencies to complete their postgraduate training. This is going to cause a massive brain drain. We have these trained individuals, but they can't practice medicine in our country. And you could say increase residency spots, but you can't just magically do that. There's only a limited amount of residency spots because of how the programs work. And according to federal data, Canada's going to be short about 44,000 doctors, including 30,000 family doctors and general practitioners by 2028. Now, one solution to this is to allow for more nurse practitioners, because a nurse practitioner can do most of what a family doctor can do, including prescriptions and referrals to specialists. But in provinces like Ontario, nurse practitioners aren't covered under OHIP, or at least private clinics can choose not to bill them through OHIP. So we have to solve that problem too. The doctor and medical shortage in Canada is not a single source problem. It is a federal problem, it is a provincial problem, it is a municipal problem. Not everybody wants to work as a doctor in a rural area. Not everybody can get into med school in Canada. Not everybody can get a residency in Canada. We don't have enough residencies in Canada. And we make it too difficult for other areas of the healthcare sector to pick up the slack. We need to do better.